right. Greetings, everyone. See if I can get this camera right. Make sure there's enough light in here for you guys. Trying to. So welcome, Dorsey's Resource. Welcome, everyone. I don't kind of like. See if I can the way this light is in here. See if I can get a better angle towards. See if I can get it towards this way. Get the better light in here. Just want to make sure the lighting's good. Oh, it's kind of shine bright there. Okay, this video, to get into the discussion real quick, this is going to be a book review on Operating Invisible, and plus Q&A. That's what the title of this video is. Book review on this book called Redemption Manual, and I believe this was the last in the series. Yep, Operating Invisible. See if I can hold it up to the camera so you guys can kind of see there. I'm gonna tell you where to purchase it. Don't let me forget. If you guys have questions about anything, feel free to chime in. And by the way, I did remove the videos. Just a quick update for those who may be watching. The videos that I did a while ago on the Pastor Tony King seminar says first time I get to chat with you live. Okay, cool. Welcome, JSM Turner 3. I have to really read it quick when I'm looking on my phone because it disappears. I can't really, unless there's a way for me to see the chat. I haven't figured that out yet. But first, before we get deeply into things, I'm gonna give a disclaimer. I think I might switch lights. See if this gets a better lighting in here, because I know based on the views, you know, I just wanted to get better lighting. That wasn't that much better, so I'll switch to the other one. Okay, disclaimer: this video is going to be for educational, informational purposes only. Please understand everyone's individual circumstance or situation may be different. It's up to every individual competent person to please do his or her homework and research regarding the matter being discussed. This information is not to be construed as legal advice. In the event that you need to seek a competent professional, it is encouraged that you do so at one's own leisure. Dorsey's Resource Channel is not liable or responsible for any misuse of this information. See, I'm still having trouble with the lighting. With that being said, all rights are reserved. I'm gonna see if I can do a better adjustment here. Gosh, I should have picked a better angle. It's kind of tricky. You guys might not be able to tell, but I really didn't want to be before you guys that long, but sometimes I can be long-winded. Feel free, this is Q&A as well, a book review. I'm just trying to get the lighting right in here. I don't like the way that is, you know. Okay, that may have to do for the time being. That's a little bit better. Oh, trying to adjust. Oh, still not how I like it. Well, maybe I just don't want it shining in my face, you know what I mean. But that may have to do. That might be better. Okay, without further ado, I apologize to you guys. This was a book review, like I said, to reiterate, on the Redemption Manual. This can be purchased on if you go to type in makefreedom.com, that's where I recommend getting it from first. But everybody has their own individual preferences. You can do a Yahoo or Google search on it. This is part 4 of 4 in the series. This wasn't released until I think May of 2017. I think I purchased mine this year. I can't remember exactly, but I found out I was waiting for this version to come out. It didn't come out for a while, but it was the last in the series. And this is advanced too, by the way. For those out there who don't believe this redemption information is real, or think that is made up or is fake, these books provide credibility. Now, I think the people that created the books actually held back. And I want to also mention in my disclaimer, in no way, shape, or form, by the way, You guys might not be aware. I'm not affiliated with these people. One of the guys, I guess, behind the creators of this, a couple years or some years back, I did mention in one of my other videos, I did a book review on one of the books related in this series. He sent it to me, the updated version. It was called Operating Sovereign. And it was different from the original version. I had the original version. He sent me the updated version because he, like, as I guess being appreciative or kind of showing his appreciation that I did a YouTube video. He didn't ask me to do a product review on it. I just did that to share the information as a courtesy for those out there who may have been wondering, where can I find literature from? Where can I find information? I know it's very difficult. When you study this type of information, it's highly private, confidential. I've been knowing about this for some years. I've already mentioned in some previous videos how I kind of started off some years back. I woke up back around 03, but I didn't go to my first meeting privately in Detroit until 2004, and that was through word of mouth back then. We did have the internet, but it wasn't as prevalent like it is today, like the way people have smartphones, tablets, Nooks, and different devices. So this information was like on a word of mouth basis, and there were people who were even part of this movement years before that I got in, and the information got better over the years because what happened is people formed different groups. But this book goes over the advanced procedures such as with the technology, how to, like, I don't want to spoil it for you guys, but how to encrypt your data, things of that nature. Another reason why I wanted to really purchase this book, it talks about towards the end, I won't spoil it for you guys, about the voter registration. I actually brought some notes with me because that was going to be my next video I wanted to touch on. I have some notes from some years back because someone in my previous video that goes by the screen name Cinnamon Jones, she asked me about the voters registration. And for those, if you did watch my previous video, I hope I gave enough clarification. If not, you know, you're welcome to chime in again. Like I say, this video is for Q&A as well, for questions. Those of you all who do have questions, feel free to jump in the chat. This is also a book review on the Redemption Manual. This is the latest in the series, by the way. And let me see if I can kind of go through the table of contents. Yeah, it talks about different things such as metadata, being private, you know, how you do things on the internet. But this is highly good. I haven't fully read it yet. I haven't read the whole book. Just use it as a reference. But this it's highly, I say highly recommended because it is the latest in the series and it's the most advanced. But going back to the story, by the way, the guy, he went by the name, I think, Guy, which is like a pseudonym name. He sent me one of the previous versions, the updated version, because he was appreciative that I did a video, a product review on it, even though he didn't ask me to. So I just wanted to put that out there. I don't work for these people. I'm just sharing this information as a courtesy. I did give a disclaimer. Once again, you can purchase this on Amazon.com. I'm not sure if it's on eBay. You can also do a search online. Again, this book is called Operating Invisible. And there are some other books that are like it. The different books in the series, in case you're wondering, deal with different topics. One of the books focuses on like unincorporated business organizations, which are similar to trust. I won't kind of get into that much. I'm not saying I'm advanced in that particular regard, but in case you guys do have questions, you are welcome to join in the chat and ask me, like I say, to reiterate once again. So this is what this video is mainly about, a book review on this book, Operating Sovereign. I'm trying to think of some more. Operating Invisible, I mean. There is some more. Talks about methods of communication. Just reading off the table of contents. And if you go to Amazon, what I love about Amazon.com with a lot of books, because I purchased other books on there with different topics that I've studied. And Amazon, a lot of times, not saying this for all the books that they sell, they allow you to preview the content. And I think with this book as well, even though sometimes they'll cut off, but they allow you to see the table of contents. Because before people purchase things, they want to know what stuff is about, or like a snippet. Just like when you listen to music sometimes, or with headphones or whatever, you want a sample. You want to know if what you're purchasing going to be worth the money. And I do understand, and that's what I do like about this particular book. And I did research with all of the previous books that I purchased in a series, because they allow you to, like I said, to reiterate, they allow you to see what's in the previews. So this book talks about the technology, with other things dealing with like online social media, as well as your telephone too, by the way. So just keep that in mind too. Like you know, different ways of being private, because it's called Operating Invisible, obviously in the name. I'm not spoiling it for you guys, but I am giving you enough information where you can research on your own. Don't take my word for what I'm saying. Like I do say in the disclaimer, and once again, in the event that you need to seek legal advice, this is not legal advice. This is not financial advice. You know, and if you, in the event that you do, it is encouraged that you seek a professional, competent professional. These are my opinions, but in my opinion, from researching this information, being a researcher, and spending many years researching and investigating this type of information, I would say there is very real, contrary to popular belief. There are individuals, there are naysayers out there who will try to steer you away, because they don't want the left hand to know what the right hand is doing. They don't want the right hand to know what the left hand is doing, and vice versa. Because remember, gatekeepers and agents out there, and I kind of touched on this in my previous video. I highly recommend check that out. I did an excellent job. And YouTube, I don't know if it's because somebody tried to flag it, they tried to censor it, but YouTube actually approved it. I did a manual review. YouTube sent me an email. So my last video where I talked about, it's called Modern Day Slavery, I did an excellent job. I'm not trying to boast or brag, but it went through the trial. Now my Kanye video, YouTube demonetized it a little bit, but my previous video, it went through a manual review. So YouTube actually approved it, you know. So my stuff is like G-rated too, with all this censorship stuff they're trying to nitpick. But it was a great, excellent video, and it explains some things too, that where I talk about gatekeepers and government agents and people also part of secret societies, fraternities, and sororities. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but sometimes they don't want you to know this type of information, because they want to keep you programmed, brainwashed, and they want to make money off you. They have a financial incentive. And in the previous video too, I also touched on, and I didn't really finish talking about it, the back of the dollar bill. The front, I didn't really touch on too much, where it says this note is legal tender for public and private debts. So I don't know what Virgo Triad was talking about in her videos, where she was trying to say there's no private sector. Yes, there is. It proves it right on the money. If you look at our currency, well, I shouldn't say money, because legally it's not money. That's a whole nother discussion. It's currency. And there's other terms for it. It's a Federal Reserve note, and it actually says that at the top, Federal Reserve note, and it says this note is legal tender for public and private debts. Public and private. So, and then one of my subscribers, by the way, contacted me and said that he knows that she's lying. So thank you for the confirmation out there to Duncan, by the way, who I got in touch with, because I screen out people. I don't allow everybody to reach out to me. I say if there's individuals who wanted to reach out to me, I'm looking for serious inquiries only. And a long time ago, I gave the specific, how can I say, criteria that I was looking for. I didn't really get what I was looking for, because I said I needed some help with some things, but it looks like some other things are getting ready to take place. But I was looking for people who were sincere about wanting to assist dealing with certain types of paperwork, clerical skills like filing 1099s, or may have a legal background but knows about this information, that are not government agents or gatekeepers or have an ulterior motive. I was looking for sincere people like that to network with or whatnot. Just me personally, I'm just saying. So the reason I was going over is certain individuals don't want you to know about books like this or information too, And also keep in mind, it's not that some people are doing this selfishly or it's on purpose either. You have to understand that when people sometimes that are not responsible share this type of information and it gets into the wrong hands, then the gatekeepers, the people at the very top that control this type of information, will change things up, and it'll make things harder for the people at the bottom to try to get this information, to try to grasp a hold of it, to understand. That's what a lot of people don't get. That's why sometimes certain individuals higher up that are sharing the information, they can't go as in depth, because when people out here will try processes, and then you have gatekeepers out there like Virgo Triad and other people who will try to say that this information is fake or whatnot. Thank you for the confirmation. I see you guys in the chat. Appreciate it, Key Mars. And they'll try to lie and put out disinformation. And just because Winston Shrout went to jail and others, that doesn't mean this information isn't real. Winston Shrout was a pioneer in the movement. A lot of things he talked about was real. He may have done some things he didn't understand because some people had to act as guinea pigs. They didn't know. And then you have to follow things within the law, because the laws are encrypted. And if you're not totally private, like I was reading on the note, to prove there is a public and private sector, because it says right on the Federal Reserve notes, anybody can pull out a dollar bill. It says legal tender for public and private debts, by the way. And this is a fact. So this proves that there is a public and private sector. So I don't know what Virgo Triad, what she was talking about in one of her previous videos, trying to contemplate that this stuff is a lie. No, that is not true. I can see some things to what she's saying. You do have con artists and scammers out there, but that's like anything in life. And you have to ask the question too, why is she just focused on certain areas? He's a scam living inside his car. I'm not sure if you're referring to Winston Shrout or whatever. Hold on. I'll be back. All right. Okay. Thank you guys for waiting. So I'm not sure whoever was saying in the chat who they were saying who's a scam. I'm not sure who you were referring to. So I don't know if you were talking about when I was referring to Winston Shrout or whatever. But however, his information years ago, I'm not sure how or if you found out about this. I've been in this movement for a long time. So I don't have any official card carrying membership or anything. Like I say, the Redemption Education was a movement. There is validity to it. And I've been in it. I have experience in it. And I know between the difference, what's real, what's fake. And I also work in a form of security. I had a chance years ago to become a police officer, which I didn't because, of course, seeing things that are going on in this country in years past with the previous administration, and I am a black man, so I got kind of turned off with some things too, by the way. And I'm not trying to play the race card or anything of that sort, but I have credentials. I have people, friends that have secret security clearances, by the way, who know this information is real. I have a couple friends, if not this information related to the Redemption Education, to other information, so-called conspiracy. And there's a difference between conspiracy theory versus facts. And I deal with facts, you know, evidence. Like anybody can look up the books in these series if you're curious. Amazon.com, makefreedom.com, or filing, I think, Sovereign Filing Solutions. This is their website, by the way. I forgot about that. And if you punch in makefreedom.com, it's tied in, I believe, with the Sovereign Filing Solutions. I don't work for them. I'm just sharing this as a courtesy. Show how cool of a guy I am, by the way. So I'm just saying, for credibility purposes, Winston Shrout, just because he went to jail doesn't mean this information is not real. Aaron Watkins said, keep it up. I was first enlightened in 2009, and I take it as a spiritual movement of life. The information is very powerful, eye-opening. Okay, thank you for that confirmation. Uh, Let me see if there's a way for me to view the chat. Okay, again. Okay, I'm learning. Okay, someone, Lord Scientist. Been a minute, Lord Scientist says hashtag salute my dude Dorsey. Lord Scientist in the building. Teach the people. Lord Scientist in the building. Big shout out to you. That's from the people, some of the people I met from the TDA movement last year that broke out last summer of 2017 that dealt with the so-called secret account that certain gatekeepers and individuals out there said, I am talking about you, who was in his car late talking about business. Oh, here we go with a troll. You know, incredible. So they're saying I'm living out of my car. So it's funny. You have people that come on here. They hide behind ghost accounts, by the way. And like I said this before, this is if you're valid, I challenge you to show your face, show your true name, and other than that, you're the con artist. You're a scam because you're not showing your real face, and you're not showing. And that's another thing about Virgo Triad. She don't even show the likes and dislikes in her video because I want all you guys too out there. If you agree with what I'm saying, please thumbs up my videos. It's not for me, for my ego, but it shows the haters and the trolls out there that what I'm saying is credible, and I'm allowing it to be seen because with other channels, when they're talking bogus stuff and they're not showing their face, 9 times out of 10, it's not as credible. I'm not saying that everybody who uses a ghost account or whatnot, because some people do, some people mix it up, but I'm showing my real face, and you have my part of my real name, Dorsey's Resource, that is my real last name. That's credibility. And I'm mentioning facts. I'm mentioning I work in the law enforcement capacity. This dude, whoever it is, doesn't even know me. They're claiming I'm homeless, XYZ. And this is the thing, but they're not showing their real face. They're coming under a fake name, a fake account. And please, I'm going to say this, trolls, you're not welcome here. Please leave. Don't come here. Don't come to my channel. Get off my channel. Just don't even come here, because I deal with facts and evidence. If you can't handle the truth, like they said in the movie, you can't handle the truth, don't come here to my channel. You are fake. You are the scam. Everybody else can obviously see when you're talking like that and you're not showing your real face. And like I was saying, back to reiterate, with the so-called Virgo Triad, and she has other people like her. She's a gatekeeper as well as other people. And then Snoops.com and Fact Check, which are connected to George Soros too, by the way, were created to refute the truth. I'm very well studied. When I was in 8th grade, I was a perfect straight A student. I forgot to mention in a previous video, I received a lot of awards that year. At the end, I went to a school on the east side of Detroit, right across the street from the city airport. It was called Evangel Christian Academy. It's now closed down. But years ago, I received a bunch of awards at an award show in 8th grade of the previous year. My 7th grade year, the teacher surprised me. I was student of the month. But the following year, I was a perfect straight A student. And then in high school, my overall GPA was a 3.0. It's only when I transferred to Cooley High School, which was on the west side. It's my first year having to get my feet wet. That was the only year that I didn't do as well as my other years. But my freshman year, I had all A's and B's. My junior and senior year, I was on the honor roll both those years, the whole entire year, both those years. And my overall GPA ended up being a 3.0. I graduated 28th in my class. Could have been higher than that if I really applied myself even more. And then when I went on to college, I transferred from DeVry Institute of Technology in Columbus, Ohio. I went to Detroit College of Business, which got bought out by Davenport University. This means you're leading followers down the right path. Godspeed. Well, thank you for confirmation, Stefan. I wasn't sure if I could. Let me see if I can see your name again. Demetrius Staten. Okay. Said thank you. Don't let them get you off your square, Dorsey. Stand firm. Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I just have to let them know you have to stand up to these trolls too. But by the way, I didn't want to get too far off track, but when I was going over Virgo Triad, where she's lying in a lot of these videos and those type of information, people who are trying to sincerely wake up for the first time and trying to learn, is this information valid? there are books out there, like, which I went over, and other books, and there's other resources too, and you have to do a lot of reading. Like, one thing I agree, Yusuf L's channel has excellent information, as well as other channels, and nobody's responsible for you. Two, people have to decide on their own will. It's not somebody's fault if you got scammed or conned by somebody. Everybody has to make, in their own life, has to make their own determination. The way life works, nobody necessarily is going to hold you by your hand when you pay your bills or put a roof over your head. Now, I understand some people are indigent. There's nothing wrong with that. But the way some of these gatekeepers are trying to say this information is not valid, I'm here to tell you that's not true. Now, you do have con artists and scammers out there. Yes, beware of those. But I'm here to tell you and show you, and I went over in the past, there are resources, there is validity to this information. But I'm exposing these gatekeepers because on her channel, for example, Virgo Triad, she doesn't show the likes and dislikes button. She used to, but she disabled it because she was getting a lot of thumbs down. And thumbs down is like voting. Too, by the way, Lord Scientist said, boo boo, vamoose to all trolls, go back to serving your slave masters, get off my dude's channel, no more lies, teach them and wake them up, Dorsey. Yeah, thank you, Scientist, I appreciate it. Much love to you. Gina Bonner says, thank you because I am awoke and on a journey. It is a spiritual for learning truth. Yes, it is. Let me get a big shout out to you, Gina. Yes, you are correct. Thank you for confirming. Key Mars, appreciate you. See, this shows the trolls out there, the haters. When you thumbs up, it shows they're the liars. That's why when you see people disable the likes, the thumbs up and thumbs down on their channels, they're hiding. They're hiding because they know they're not as accurate. My stuff is more accurate than Virgo Triad, and she was coming at me too, by the way. So it's not like all of a sudden I'm just trying to attack her or expose her. No, she came out around October of last year, and she came indirectly to the videos, a couple videos I did on the TDA. Now, I don't understand people got reversals and things, but I was just illustrating behind the scenes that these accounts are real. And why doesn't she do a video about Wells Fargo, the bank, using people's social security numbers? Why didn't Virgo try doing a video? Why is she specifically focusing on people in the redemption movement if Virgo Triad really cared? And so I didn't really care about you guys, and I had to contact the Federal Reserve because what you guys are doing is illegal. No, there is a private side and there's a public side. But what she wants to do, because I did hear her mention in one of her videos she had a bad experience, or she paid some people some money or whatever, and it didn't go right. You know, but that doesn't mean that people who are trying to learn the information, that you attack them and point the finger or you hate on them to keep them from getting receiving the correct information. This is why people who are at the top, such as the Yusuf L's, the Jonah Bays out there, they can't go as in depth sometimes because you have haters, trolls, and gatekeepers like Virgo Triad and others who will cock block you from learning about the private sector because they want to keep you brainwashed, programmed. They don't want you waking up to the truth. That's why I said when I did my previous video, which is called Modern Day Slavery, please check that out. And I talk about gatekeepers, agents, and I'm not trying to necessarily attack, but people part of fraternities, sororities, they link up under Freemasonry, you know, and they tell you, like, if you reveal these secrets, we're going to threaten to do this to you, you know. But morally, are some of these things correct? You know, says lies are comforting, seeking the truth is painful and harder to accept and do. Aaron Watkins, yes. Yeah, they don't want to accept the truth. You know, that's difficult. You know, let's get back to our lessons and build on the positive. Speak on it, son. Yeah, you're right, Scientist. I've been speaking a lot. I'm not going to waste the energy, but I just wanted to warn you guys out there that Virgo Triad, she's a gatekeeper. And another reason, before I finish up, I was asking a friend of mine, why would she choose the name? And when I was invited on the Discord app, and I appreciate the people, Jermaine down in Texas, and his group that did invite me on there, and there was other servers too. There was Chad I was speaking with. I think he's based out of Houston, and he was saying at the time, and I was sharing with them on a call, that she's that name Virgo. A friend of mine was telling me feminists, they sometimes wear a logo dealing with femininity. I don't have a problem with feminists. I understand, because women have had their time in history where they've been discriminated against and things of that sort. So I do understand everybody's struggle and fights. but certain individuals at the top are using these agendas for political purposes. But Triad is also the name of the Chinese mafia, just like you have the Asian, the Japanese mafia is called the Yakuzas. So, and Triad is associated with the number 3, triangle, triune, so something to keep in mind. My friend said feminist gangster. So she's saying she's a feminist gangster. You break down Virgo Triad, feminist gangster. Feminist, then she has some things on her channel about bullying. So I'm just saying people like that talk like this are on the left. They're hardcore leftists. A lot of them are connected to George Soros. They want to keep you brainwashed. She goes after April Lejeune a lot, who I notice happens to be a Trump supporter, by the way, which, I'm not trying to get political, but I was getting just with the FBI, how they profile people, getting a profile who Virgo Triad is. And if you recognize her voice or what state she's in, by the way, Harvey Dent did a video where he had sent the email, sent the information over, because once we find out what her real name is, her real face, she will probably go away, because she's using tactics from the so-called sovereign movement, the movement or redemption education that she's trying to claim is a fake. She's using some of the very same tactics, which I've talked about this in this book called Operating Invisible, because she's not showing her real face or her real name. She's hiding, which trolls, they want to be able to have the power to hide secretly, but she's exposing all of these other people, such as Winston Shroud, April Lejeune, XYZ, and trying to say they're complete scam artists. No, there's relevance to what they said. Now, it doesn't mean that everything that they said that you co-sign, but it's up to every individual, just like I mentioned when I give my disclaimers, to do their research and homework into the matter. Because I'm sharing this information as a courtesy. I don't work for these people. But from my research, I'm showing you I have the experience, the credibility. Yes, Harvey is legit. Yeah, Harvey has some good information. I watch, especially, just like I've talked about the Federal Reserve, Harvey's on point. And that was wrong for her, how she went after Harvey to attack. And Money Boy and his friend Midwest, when they were doing the juice thing, who does she work? She doesn't work for the Food and Drug Administration, from what I know. And then you have this thing going on in this country, by the way, where it could be construed. I'm not trying to play the race card because I'm not a registered voter. I'm not on necessarily the left or the right, but it could be construed as what Virgo Triad is doing. That could be construed as racist, because there's a lot of white people, white women who are losing their jobs for reporting on black people, and in a similar way that's, doing things that are not serious, the level that she's trying to take it and claim that everybody's a scam artist, or all of these people that are teaching this information online are fake without properly vetting these people overall. What Virgo Triad is claiming everybody that teaches redemption or dealing with this stuff is a scam or con artist. That's not true, by the way. And I don't belong to any organizations. And I'm going to say the term sovereign citizen, that is an umbrella term that's meant to steer people away from looking into this type of information. And there's actually no such thing as a sovereign citizen. It actually deals with being a private citizen. There's not no such thing as a sovereign citizen. That was created, by the way, to make people look crazy or whatnot. It's an umbrella term used for that purpose for those out there. So I'm just debunking, deconstructing so-called Virgo Triad hiding behind this ghost account, not showing her face or her real name, and her likes and dislikes not being available for you to visibly see anymore, because she gets a lot of thumbs down, by the way, prior to her disabling it, because she don't want you to know. That's how you vote. When you thumbs on videos up, gives confirmation what I'm saying is accurate, real. So enough of that. But back to the meat and potatoes, by the way. This is Q&A in the chat. Before I shut things down, do any of you all have any questions, by the way, that you want to ask before I get ready to move on? Scientist question: have you heard President of the United States ending the Federal Reserve and placing back, let's see the rest, placing back under the Treasury per NESARA GCR implementation? Yes, I have heard about that. From what I understand, there's some things going on behind the scenes are being kept private. There's different levels to this. Like, there's people at different levels. As you all, many of you all know, that's why I highly recommend, if you haven't saw the movies called Changes on the Horizon, you can watch it for free on YouTube. It's called Changes on the Horizon. There was one version where someone had put the 3 films together, uncut, so you could watch it in its entirety. But there's other versions where it's cut up, and that helps explain a lot of validity behind the GCR, which stands for Global Currency Reset. And I do have confirmation. There's some things I can't get into, but yes, I did hear what's actually going on from some years ago. There is a changeover coming, and the people, the banking families, like there's a book that I did. A lot of times, if you guys come to my channel for the first time and you see that book review I did on Bloodlines of the Illuminati, and I also have a review, I did multiple books in that video. I also did a video where the music is not playing, because some people were complaining that the music was too loud. But in the other video, you can just hear me without the music. It is on my channel. Just go to the archives. That book, the reason I'm referring to that book, it helps explain that some of these families, they're shareholders of the Federal Reserve banking system, and they've been behind is the secret in becoming private, the IRC. I'm not sure what the IRC, if you could explain the acronym, Demetrius states in with the IRC, what you're referring to is the secret in becoming private. I just don't understand the IRC. What can you spell out the whole word IRC, what that's the acronym for, so I know what you're referring to and I can answer your question. By the way, what's the IRC? Okay. Internal Revenue Code. Okay, yeah, I would say, yeah, now it definitely plays a role too. The difficult part is some of us, those of us who are still in the public, who are trying to transition into becoming private, is that I said this when I met some people on the Discord app. If any of you are familiar with playing sports like basketball, the coach has a schematic, or even baseball or football or even hockey. There's a playbook that the coach has, and different teams have different set of plays that they run. Mind you, the elites, the ruling class at the top, has the secret like cheat codes, or like if you play video games. And I would say, yes, the Internal Revenue Code does play a role, because once again, as I broke down on the dollar bill, and I'll show it again real quick. On the front, it says at the top, upper right hand corner, this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. So yes, because you know the Federal Reserve, when I did the TDA video last year, it talks about, I discussed the connection like with to the Social Security card and things. That's not a coincidence. And how they're using your exemption account. There's some things I can't go as in depth about, but I kind of have. If you've seen some of my previous videos, you can connect the pieces. So yes, to answer your question, Demetrius, it does play a role, definitely with becoming private. But what I was going to say, the difficult part is the adhesion contracts that some of us who have not totally gone private or trying to transition is trying to cram 20 to 30 years worth of information in a matter of time, because the elites, they have the cheat codes, the playbook, and they had a head start. Not saying this out of jealousy or whatever, but it's difficult for those who are trying to be initiated or brought into something when you don't have as much help or assistance. And then you also there's the fear that, well, I understand some people going to jail, there is a real possibility, so some people don't go as far as testing some things out. Like similar would happen with Winston Strout, you know, of that nature, being guinea pigs, not being aware of what you can do, what you can't. Now, I understand, I commend him and Barton Butts, who helped write Cracking the Code, for testing the waters, for trying new things out. But I learned years later that it's encrypted within the laws, not just the Internal Revenue Code, the United States codes as well. And the terminology that we use, like the Black's Law Dictionary, we have to become more astute with our grammatical skills, grammar, because in the court system, they speak an entirely different language. I did a video talking about that as well. a screen capture. And I said I may do another video talking about these adhesion contracts that people enter into as well, that ties you into being public statutory, which statute is under the codes, because the laws are also copywritten too. And that's the reason why I give a disclaimer in reference to, if you read my disclaimer, the what do you call it, the section under the video description section, why I put the codes in brackets in reference to for all rights reserved, because the laws, the codes are copywritten, so it's important to put we're in reference to, pursuant to. Now there is, someone gave to me some time ago, there is a code, actual law in Michigan, that you don't have to necessarily be licensed to practice to use the codes yourself, but it just comes into a gray area when you're giving legal advice and you don't know what you're doing contract wise. They can trick you into entering into a contract and get your acquiescence, by the way, because many of us don't understand the grammar, the Latin that's being used, encrypted language. Like English, some people said it's like a two-faced language. By the way, Lord Scientist question is, the Federal Reserve goes back under the Treasury. Does the IRS is totally reconstructed and Republic is restored and TDAs are released back to the people? In a way, yes, there's some truth to that. However, I'm not an expert in this regard, so this ties in with my disclaimer. Just giving my opinion, it might go up under a different category in terms of taxes. I know they say the IRS is going to go away, but does it mean when they say go away, are they going up under a different name? Now, I don't know that for sure. Just some things to think about, because some of this stuff is encrypted, by the way. And some people, even gatekeepers who don't understand this information, it goes in depth. You can't be a weekend warrior. And I do agree with Yusuf saying, what he says, you have to do a lot of reading in this information. You can't just take what you hear for a grain of salt. That's why I say, don't take my word for what I'm saying. Please do your research and homework. But yes, I'll say it's some truth to what you're saying. But what I don't know, a question is, could the IRS be going up under a different name? Just something to think about. There's one name I could throw out there, but I don't really want to say who they may already be. And this other entity that they already may be might be taking over or absorbing the other entity, and they may become the majority shareholders. I don't know. But this is why I do have this Q&A, you know, to help help us brainstorm and dialogue for those who are sincere and trying to become private. Also, before I shut this video down, another video I recommend to watch on YouTube, I almost forgot about, that shows validity behind the private sector. And he went public. He lived with the elite of the world. He goes by the name Pastor Lindsey Williams. Please check out Pastor Lindsey Williams' DVD called Secrets of the Elite. If you do have the money, please support Pastor Lindsey Williams. Taxes, as we know, will be totally different. Yes, good point. I think so. That's the case. I don't think, in my opinion, it's totally going away. And could that also depend on you being at a particular status? Just something to think about. Could that depend on certain individuals being at a particular status? Now, I'm not sure, but hey, I'm kind of speaking in code, but giving some hints there. But I really don't know for sure, because I don't know until it actually happens. But once again, check out Pastor Lindsey Williams' DVD called Secrets of the Elite. And if you do have the money to support him, I highly recommend support Pastor Lindsey Williams. He's been a great asset throughout the years too. Key Mars, could it be cryptocurrency? Yeah, that's I think, you know, that cryptocurrencies are going to play a good role. But because I'm getting ready to shut things down, maybe I should do a continuation. I'll say to be continued. If you remember, you guys remind me, and I can touch on the cryptocurrencies. I've just out of time. I don't want to take up too much more time. I do appreciate you all joining me in the chat tonight. If you haven't, you can follow me at Dorsey's Resource on Facebook. I'm on Twitter at Dorsey's Resource, all together as one word. If you haven't, please subscribe. Whenever I put out new videos, YouTube will notify you in the upper right-hand corner, the message section. Thank you, Lord Scientist. I appreciate your time, wisdom. Key Mars, I appreciate you. Have a good one. Thank you very much. So once again, if you can subscribe, I'm on Dorsey's Resource on YouTube. You can click the notification bell at the bottom to receive updates whenever I put out new videos. And I thank you guys very much for joining me tonight. And until next time, I hope everyone has a beautiful, wonderful night. Take care. And thank you, Gina. Take care.